the calendar of God is. If you don't know it's a calendar in the Bible, this is the calendar right here. And God's calendar starts with the moon. It's a lunar calendar, not the sun. That's why we take. That's why we celebrate the feast days. We know when the feast day comes in April, which is around the springtime, that's when the moon hit. And we start the first new moon in the spring, we start counting 14 days. And we'll know when the Passover is. Verse 1, go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them,
yes, sir,
concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
These are who feasts? The Jews?
Lord.
Or the Christians? These are Jesus' feasts. Don't try to let them separate Jesus from these feasts, because he ordained these feasts. He put them together for a reason. Go ahead.
Verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
See, this is the regular Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath, the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
And holy convocation.
This is what we have today, a holy convocation, a church day. Go ahead.
Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
In all your dwellings. Go ahead.
These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocation, which ye shall proclaim in their season.
In their season. This is the season we proclaim. We're coming up in the April 20th, we're going to proclaim the Passover in its rightful season. Not Sunday, when they're going to celebrate Easter and tell you that this is Passover. Go ahead.
Verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover.
This is the Lord Passover. Go ahead.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread.
The feast of unleavened bread is the first high Sabbath. All these Sabbath days, that we read in Leviticus chapter 20 are high Sabbaths. They don't fall on the weekly day, which is the 7th day that we are at right now. Go ahead.
Verse 7. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Yes, sir. Jump down to verse 23. I just want to let y'all see that we don't go through all these. We're going to do that on the Passover. Verse 23. To show you that these are Sabbaths too. Verse 23. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath.
Yes, sir.
A memorial of blowing of trumpets and holy convocation.
So you saying the 7th month, the first day of the month, that ain't on the 7th day, but it's still a Sabbath. Still a Sabbath, a high Sabbath. Jump down to verse 32. Go ahead.
It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month of evening. From evening unto evening shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
See, this is the 9th day of the 7th month. It's still a Sabbath. It ain't the 7th day. I just want to make sure you understand the difference between when we go back to read John, we're going back to John 19, verse 31, to let you know that this is not the weekly Sabbath. Not the weekly Sabbath. Let's go back to John chapter 19 and verse 31. Let me know if I ain't making sense now. Because it took me a while to realize this. So we're going to go back to John to read with some understanding. John 19 and verse 31. We're going to break this down. I'm going to show you that this preparation day was not Friday. This is where they get Good Friday from. It said that Jesus died on Friday. John chapter 19, verse 31. Go ahead.
The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the bodies should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day.
Yes, sir. So this is not the preparation. It's a different preparation day than what we had yesterday, which is Friday. Because in Israel, you cannot have a dead body You can read that in Deuteronomy chapter 21. You cannot have a dead body on the cross on the Sabbath day or any high day. You make the day unholy, unclean. Go ahead.
For that Sabbath day was a high day.
You see the difference? It was a high day, a high Sabbath. Not the regular. I know I'm kind of getting repetitive with it, but I want to make sure you understand this, because when we read these other scriptures, you'll know the difference between the two. Go ahead.
Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away.
See, Christ died on the Passover. He fulfilled his own law. When you took the Passover lamb on the 14th day, you're supposed to kill it at evening. Christ had to die on the Passover. Let me show you that. Let's go to Mark chapter 14. Mark chapter 14 and 1. Let me show you how the chief priests and scribes planned Jesus' death on the Passover. Believe me, if you got somebody keeping the Sabbath, they're gonna try. If you got somebody know a little bit about the Sabbath, they're gonna take you to John 19 and say, look, it was the preparation day. He died on Good Friday and was resurrected on Easter Sunday. You don't understand the law, brother. You don't know what a holiday is. Tell me what a holiday is. It's the 7-day Sabbath. Sabbath. No, it's not. There's a difference between the weekly Sabbath.
Yes, it is.
Now this is when the chief priests and the scribes consulted with each other how to kill Jesus. And listen to what they said now. Verse 1. Go read 1 and 2. Go ahead.
After 2 days was the feast of the Passover.
Meaning that he said within 2 days the feast of the Passover is going to come about. Go ahead.
And of unleavened bread.
Because the Passover and the unleavened bread come directly behind the Passover.
That's right.
It's the 14th day and the 15th day. Go ahead.
And the chief priests and the scribes saw how they might take him by craft and put him to death.
See, they were trying to figure out how we going to kill this cat. But they knew they couldn't kill him on the high day or the feast day. Go ahead.
But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar of the people.
So you know that he couldn't die on the feast day. It's going to be an uproar, which is that feast day, which is the feast of unleavened bread. Christ died on Passover. He's the Passover lamb. Now let's go to John chapter 18. It's going to tie in. Let's see what time of the year did Jesus die. John chapter 18, verse 33. I want y'all to know this because you got to explain this to some people. We Israel. We're supposed to teach the nation. Don't you think I'm the one supposed to know this? Everybody in here is supposed to know it. Because they're going to come at you with questions. And you can't be standing there looking crazy when you obtain this knowledge. This is why you got to keep going over and over this Bible. It ain't just you on this Bible on the 7th day, that's it. You got to study this every day. Have it on your mind every day. Now let's go find out when did Jesus die. What time of the year. Verse 33. John chapter 18 and verse 33. Go ahead.
Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again and called Jesus and said unto him, Art thou the king of the Jews?
So Pilate talking to Jesus, are you the king of the Jews? Go ahead.
Jesus answered him, saying, Thou this thing said, thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me?
He said, did you come up with this yourself, or did others tell you? Jesus being smart with him. Go ahead.
Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done?
Understand, you want to know who killed Jesus? Our people. Israel killed Jesus. Right? They're going to show you this. Go ahead.
Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servant fight,
Yes,
that
sir.
I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from thence.
See, Jesus knew he had to die. He didn't want to die, because he asked the Father 3 times to take this cup away from him, but he knew he had to die. He said, my kingdom was here, we would fight. See, that's the thing that people don't understand. When Jesus come out to this earth, he ain't come back as a lamb. He come back as a warrior. He come back to fight. And believe me, if you with him, you're going to fight with him. Go ahead, brother.
Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born.
Yes, sir.
And for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice.
Go ahead.
Pilate said unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews and said unto them, I find him no fault at all.
See, Pilate said, hey, this man right here ain't did nothing. He washed his hands of it. He washed his hands of it. He going to ask his own people, which are the Israelites, what we're going to do with it. Listen what they said. Go ahead.
But ye have a custom that I should release unto you one at the Passover.
What time is this?
Passover.
The Passover. I just want to set the time so you understand that Jesus died on the Passover. But listen what happened. Go ahead.
Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews?
He asked the question, you gonna release him? Listen what they said. Go ahead.
Then cried they all again, saying, Not this man, but Barnabas. Now Barabbas was a robber.
He said, not this man, but Barabbas. Release him. They crucified our Lord and Savior, which is Israel. He's supposed to die. I just want to set the time. This is the Passover. This is when he died. Now let's go back to John chapter 19 and verse 1. Read, well, the next chapter, John chapter 19 and verse 1. So we can understand that this Good Friday was not true at all. The preparation day he's talking about is Jesus died in the middle of the week. And we're going to show you that. John chapter 19 and verse 1. We have to do it this way so you can understand it. Go ahead.
Then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him.
Yes, sir.
And the soldiers platted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put on him a purple robe.
They beat Jesus so bad you couldn't even recognize him, man. They beat him horribly bad. Couldn't even recognize him. They put a crown and a robe on, thorns on the head. Well, can you imagine when he hit that sky and the ones that killed him? Can you imagine what they thinking? Like, man, we done messed up now if we didn't repent. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And said, Hail, King of the Jews. And they smote him with their hands.
Yes, sir. Jump down to verse 30. Go ahead. I just want to set the mode, put in context when he died and what happened. Go ahead.
When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, It is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
This is when he died. When he received the vinegar, he died and gave up the ghost. I mean, the ghost is talking about the breath. And he's talking about he got an angel inside of him, as most people preach. You can read Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1, he said, man, he breathed his breath of life in him, his spirit in him, which is oxygen. Jesus gave up the ghost, which is the oxygen inside of him, and he died. Go ahead.
Verse 31. The Jews therefore, because it was the preparation that the bodies should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away.
Yes, sir. It was a high day. The preparation day was in the middle of the week. It's a Wednesday. I'm going to read that to you. Jump down to verse 38. Go ahead.
And after this, Joseph Arimathea, being a disciple of Jesus, but secretly for fear of the Jews, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus, and Pilate gave him leave.
So he went to get the body of Jesus so he could bury it. Jump down to verse 40. Go ahead.
Then took they the body of Jesus and wound it in linen clothes with the spices, as the manner of the Jews is to bury. So
they covered him up, put him in linen clothing. Or you can say they mummified him, if you want to understand. Go ahead.
Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new scepter, wherein was never man yet laid.
A new scepter, that's talking about his burial place. Go ahead.
There laid they Jesus, therefore, because of the Jews' preparation day, for the scepter was nigh at hand.
Yes, sir. The Jews' preparation day was at hand. He died on the Passover. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 12 and verse 38. Let's see how long he stayed in the grave. Let's see how long he stayed in the grave. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 38. Read that, brother.
Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas.
He said they were seeking after a sign about him and his death. But he gave them one sign. This is the sign he gave them about his death and when he was going to be resurrected up. Go ahead.
For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the way is better, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
So how many days did he was in the grave? 3 days and 3 nights. Now, if you're looking at this chart right here, this right here is Friday. That's one day. He was in that. They say Jesus died on in the afternoon, Friday evening, right? So he died on Friday evening. Then he was in the grave. That's another day. From evening to evening is one day. Then you got Sunday. He over here. I get Sunday. Sunday right here. It's another day. That ain't but one day and maybe 2 nights. You can't get this from the book because he said he was going to be in the earth for 3 whole days and 3 whole nights. So where you come up with this Good Friday from? Because your pastor didn't go back and research the law about the high Sabbaths. If they ain't teaching you about these high Sabbaths, they're going to mess all the New Testament up. They're going to mess it up. Now let's go to Daniel. I said I'm going to show you when Jesus died. We got to read that next verse. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9 and verse 26. Now let's see. When did he die? What day did he die on? It's all here. Daniel chapter 9 and verse 26. Let's see if he say he died on Good Friday. You're going to hear it all in there right about now. He died on Friday, but he got up. That's the sermon going to be tomorrow in the church. He got up, he risen on Sunday. No, he did not. He wasn't resurrected on Sunday, period. Let's go to Daniel chapter 9, we'll start at verse 26. This is the 70-week prophecy. We ain't dealing with the 70-week prophecy right now, but I just want to show you what day he died on. Verse 26, go ahead.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
Yes, sir.
But not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
So who did Jesus die for? Himself? He died for us, right? So we talking about his death. Go ahead.
And the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
Yes, sir.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
He tell them he's going to confirm the covenant with them for 1 week. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abomination, he shall make it desolate.
Yes, sir.
Even until the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
When Jesus Christ died, he took away animal sacrifices. He said he should confirm the covenant for many. When he died on the cross, he confirmed the covenant for all mankind. In 1 week, he said in the midst of the week, he should call sacrifice and obligation to cease. He died in the middle of the week. The midst. He died Wednesday. From Wednesday evening all the way to Saturday, just before Saturday, he was resurrected up. On the Sabbath, not Sunday. Let me show you that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 28. Because this is what they're going to take you also, saying that he was resurrected up on the Sunday. I'm just trying to kill this Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, whatever you want to call it, the lie. That's all it is. He's going to take people straight to the lake of fire, man, I'm telling you. Because you're missing his holy day. You're missing it. Matthew chapter 28, we're going to start with verse 1. Matthew chapter 28, verse 1. We're going to read this slow so you'll understand. If you read it fast, you'll miss it every time. Go ahead, bro.
In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. So
he said at the end of the Sabbath, who came? Mary Magdalene. This when they came to Jesus' burial place. They came. I'm just setting them over here because most people will tell you, see, the Sabbath was over. He resurrected up. No, this is when Mary Magdalene and Mary came. Go ahead.
And behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
Yes, sir.
His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow.
So when does all this take to happen? At the end of the Sabbath. Now, let's see what this angel tell Mary. Now, go ahead.
And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men.
Yes, sir.
And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified.
They seeking Jesus, which was crucified. Go ahead.
He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where the Lord lay.
So when did they come? At the end of the Sabbath. The weekly Sabbath. They came at the end of the Sabbath. Was Jesus there? No, he was gone. Because he said, oh God, in the midst of the week, Wednesday. All the way, you got Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday evening. And at the end of the Sabbath, that's 3 whole days and 3 whole nights. He was gone. So where did he get Resurrection Sunday from? It don't make sense. So we try to make sure. In verse 1, he said, in the end of the Sabbath, as they began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and Mary. So once the sun went down, Mary Magdalene and Mary, they came to the tomb. But when they got there, what the angel told them? He already gone. That's right. He gone. Because he knew he was going to die in the midst of the week, the middle. From Wednesday all the way up to Saturday evening, he was gone before the Sabbath evening. If you're going to do wrong, do it right. Say Resurrection Sabbath. He never told us to celebrate that. Now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 13. Don't be fooled, y'all. Believe me, do not be fooled. with these people. Am I making sense? Okay. You know when it gets quiet in the church, the pastor, you think something wrong, he got a husband holler. It should be just like this. The only thing we should hear in these churches is these pages turn and read it. That's it. Don't, Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 13. Don't be fooled and go and worshiping with these people. Don't be church hopping. That's how I'm going to go worship with them on Sunday. I'm going to go worship with Jevin on Saturday. Man, you need to stay where you at. We don't need that attendance. Unless you're trying to change, unless you're trying to see the difference between the two. I understand it. But if you're just doing this because you're making somebody happy, you're in the wrong place, man. Wrong frame of mind. But Jesus warned us of this, of how these people gonna come to you and try to take you away from the statutes, the laws of God. Go ahead, brother. Verse 13.
Certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which ye have not known.
Certain children, grandma gonna come and tell you, come on, we go to church one day. Just one day? I mean, ain't even violating your Sabbath. You go to church on Saturday. Just come with me just Sunday. We're gonna have food. We're gonna do it all. Eat, get food. Mama gonna do it. I ain't going with y'all Sabbath. Just come and worship with me. Certain men gonna come and